So not only is today's chapter one of my favorites in this match so far, but we also get a color spread of the Master Strikers and even a new Volume 30 cover. Blue Lock fans are eating good right now. What's going on, everybody? My name is Animasu, and today I'm going to be going over Blue Lock chapter 272 with you all, titled Rock-Pape-Scissors. If you enjoy staying up to date with Blue Lock and want to support my channel, all that I ask for today is you go check out my group channel after watching this one. We just uploaded our intro video, and I'll be posting gameplay and variety content at least once a week over there, so make sure to tap in and stay updated. Anyways, I won't yap your ears off anymore. Let's get right into today's amazing chapter. The intro text is actually placed on the color spread here of the Masters, as it says, "The top of the world, the state of egoism." We can see Noah, Marc Snuffy, Chris Prince, Lavinho, Loki, and even Ego Jinpachi himself drip to the high heavens. I guess they are just the swaggiest outfits that match their style, because Prince has on streetwear, meanwhile Noah has a whole suit and tie. The new Volume 30 cover with Zantetsu can also be seen here in the top left, and if you're interested in my thoughts on it, feel free to check out my Twitter where I'm fairly active and made a whole thread on it. The first visual we get today is actually Michael Jordan, Jose Altuve, and Maradona, all with their mouths open and tongues hanging out. The narration goes on to say that often starting from childhood, some humans unconsciously stick out their tongues when fully concentrated. As we then get another close-up of MJ, we're told that this tic tends to be common among professional athletes, as it helps them relax their bodies and release excess tension. With page 2 even starting off on that note, Loki is seen here from the bench watching Rien in excitement, calling him quite the wild egoist. Noah, however, has a more serious expression, as the true nature of Blue Lock's number 1 has now been unleashed against his team. Itoshi Rien himself is then shown dribbling forward, with Kaiser attempting to tackle him, and Isagi getting back up from the ground just from behind. The matchup between God's Chosen Emperor and Blue Lock's number 1 finally begins, as both players take on intense expressions and leap into action. Itoshi Rien takes the first action by dragging the ball into a more guarded position, and Kaiser responds by planting his hand on Rien's shoulder. This of course is immediately deflected by our rampant egoist, as Kaiser's arm is sent flying back with an explosion-like effect. I'm just super happy to finally see a proper matchup between these two, because the Itoshi side power scalers can finally stop glazing based on outdated matches. Anyways, Isagi begins to leap back up and into action while complimenting Kaiser for stalling. However, the Emperor tells Yoichi to not step 1 foot closer. With another angle then shown from behind Rien, Kaiser goes on to say that this duel is between him and the Destroyer, which is just absolutely insane to me. He pushed aside his obsession with Isagi, which is cool and all, but now he's trying to Steel Bro's rival and sideline him? Absolutely not. With the perspective then changing to Rien though, he begins to monologue about how he now understands the psyche behind him entering the flow state. The desire to bring out the best in my enemy and destroy them is an impulse that comes from my deep-rooted desire to risk my life destroying an amazing person. As he once again explains the foundation of his ego for the 4th time this month, Kaiser and especially Isagi are shown with shocked expressions. Itoshi Rien then also takes the next page to further explain how in the U20 match, he threw everything at the strongest Itoshi Sai in order to raise his performance. Now in a similar way, Isagi, Yoichi, and the nuisance Kaiser stand at his front, setting the stage for all of his conditions. All that's left is for Itoshi Rien to have the courage to burn to death in this one moment. He must throw everything at these egoists, because in reality, the only thing he craves is victory, even at the cost of his own life. With Isagi and Kaiser preparing themselves, Rien then leaps forward into action, with his eye spiral growing even deeper. The first person to clash with Rien is Isagi himself, who wraps his arm around Rien's front in order to prevent him from going forward. Kaiser, however, stays on the outskirts and activates his metavision, assuring Rien that he won't fall into a trap so easily. Itoshi Rien wants to destroy them both at once. With him gritting his teeth, I think he's come to realize it won't be so easy of a task. Kaiser even goes on to look Rien dead in his eyes and taunt him, as apparently Yoichi and his stray dogs will be more than enough. Hey, that kinda sounds like a band name. The stray dog happens to be none other than Alexis Ness, who with a demonic expression, lunges at Itoshi Rien as Isagi holds him down. Alexis looks more feral than ever on this page, as his eyes are bulging and muscles are all tensed up out of anger. He even manages to get the ball off of Itoshi Rien in a surprising twist, leaving the Destroyer completely enraged at the situation. He realizes he must pull both Kaiser and Isagi into a close-range fight in order to destroy both at once, and as he even says this, we see the loose ball flying into the air thanks to Alexis Ness. He even screams out to ask Kaiser about what he thought about the press, however Michael says he could care less as he disowned him. With Kaiser then dashing forward to chase after the loose ball, Rien himself focuses his gaze while saying that they're still too lukewarm for him. Karasu and Hiyori are also shown looking up and screaming for the second ball, however Charles Chevalier hops back into the game and gains possession himself. Leaping in between Ryusei and Kiyora, we see this contrarian trap the ball with the most focused expression we've seen from him all match. Tapping back into his goofy and devious self, Charles just smirks at these poor souls, as it's now time for him to show out. Shidou of course is then shown hauling ass up the field while calling for a pass, as he and Charles are the best demonic duo we could have asked for. With Kunigami struggling to hold Shidou back, we then transition to Kaiser monologuing about Itoshi Rin's talent. Tracking Rin's every movement with his Metavision eyes, Kaiser even goes on to call him the most outstanding in terms of individual skills from all of Blue Lock. As we then see Isagi once again catch up to Rin and guard him, Kaiser states how impressive his determination is to continue adapting and evolving to defeat Rin. With a close-up of his Metavision eyes then shown, Michael realizes that the center of Blue Lock is not just one protagonist, but rather the relationship between two rivals. As Charles then passes off the ball towards the dual aces of Rin and Shidou, Kaiser says that aiming to steal the main character slot from Isagi and Rin is now his impossible challenge. With his eyes now set on a new throne, Michael Kaiser leaps through the air to prevent Charles' pass from going through. Putting his literal body on the line, our Emperor dolphin dives just like he has PXG flopper, and for those of you who get that reference, just know I love you. Anyways, with Charles then making cat ears and a nya sound, Kaiser just calls him a side character while telling him to get lost. This then segues right back into Isagi vs Rin, as the Destroyer is now behind Yoichi pushing off of his back. Despite Rin running far beyond his reach, Isagi still takes this entire page to grasp the current state of the field. Puzzle pieces are flying up from the ground per usual, as we get this amazing shot of the contrasting rivals. With Rin's movements being even sharper now, Isagi seems to be the only person who can efficiently keep up with him and guard him. Due to this, the less vigilant Michael Kaiser can now move freely around the field, causing a huge disruption in PXG's defensive priority. Knowing this, Isagi thinks back onto his previous plays and says that whenever Kaiser attacks alone, he'll simply be an asshole and pull all attention his way. With Nanase then trapping the loose ball as Corona sprints in from behind, Isagi continues to monologue about the three-way deadlock they have. If Isagi stands out to Rin, then he'll just target his movements from behind, creating an infinite cycle of duels and matchups. The power balance between these three egoists is so evenly matched that anyone who stands out is immediately crushed by another. With the next page then showing us a hilarious chibi demonstration, Isagi explains it simply as crushing one another like rock-paper-scissors. Isagi doesn't let Kaiser have any hit and runs. Kaiser stays a third party to observe Rin and keep him at bay, and Itoshi Rin, well, he hawks down Isagi from behind anytime he tries something. With him crumbling into puzzle pieces while sprinting forward, Isagi realizes that just one mistake, one spark of inspiration is needed for any of these three to score. He once again hits us with the Isagi classic, as he apparently now sees the key for this upcoming goal. It's a fourth person who will aim for the spot of main character on this field. Whether it's someone forcing a new set of values or creating a crack, Isagi knows that he must grasp that moment before anyone else. Basically every player is shown on this panel looking stressed, except for the slight exception of 5. Kiyora, Charles, Shidou, and Nanase all look the most locked in. Meanwhile, Alexis' Ness is broken down into complete despair. Also, while this overhead double spread looks super dope, I can't get over how odd the formation spread looks for some reason. I feel like he needs an actual baller to help him write this manga. With the final page then being a triple shot of Isagi, Kaiser, and Rin, all three of these egoists have their own objectives. Isagi wants to win, Kaiser wants to take the throne, and Rin wants to kill them both. However, the only thing that will bring any of this is a goal of their own. They're also each displaying their own unique visual prowess, which I think is an amazing detail because it fits the theme of rock, paper, scissors and them being interlinked egoist perfectly. That sadly being the end of today's chapter though, all that we're left with over this break is the outro text, which says, "A fierce battle to the top. There is only one throne to seek." This obviously refers to the three-way battle between Isagi, Kaiser, and Rin, and how they're all aiming to score the final goal for their own unique reasons. I'm really expecting Itoshi Rin to score in the next 2 to 3 chapters. However, the more important question is who the fourth egoist is. I'm really expecting Zantetsu or Charles to be the ones, as Zantetsu will be freeing up Shidou here, and Charles seems to be back in the game and more focused than ever. If you guys have any questions or comments about today's chapter, make sure to drop them down below, as I'm whipping up a theory video to post tomorrow. With this sadly being the end of today's chapter overview, I just want to thank you all so much for supporting the channel. If you all enjoy staying up to date with Blue Lock and enjoy my content, please support the channel by clicking that subscribe button, commenting below your thoughts, and also feel free to join my community Discord so you can interact with me directly. I once again want to remind you guys that the Eclipse group channel is now officially up alongside our intro video, and we would all really appreciate if you checked it out and supported us. I hope you all continue to have an amazing day or night, and check it out tomorrow for another Blue Lock upload.